Hey, I know this won't game popular, but I follow where your light goes. I know it's you, nothing impossible. Connected to my armor, bro, shining like a light bulb.
Rumamu Yahuwah, Barak Yahuwah Yahusha. Shalom, shalom, and welcome again to another Abaryt class, everyone. Barak Yahuwah. This is your teacher for the day, Watchman Yahu, Hallelujah. And today we're going over part 3 of the Abaryt, of learning the Abaryt, which is the ancient Hebrew, Barak Yahuwah. Now, in last class, we went over 5 of the letters from the Aleph to the Hey. And now we're going to resume from behind the Hey going onwards with 5 more letters, Barak Yahuwah. Hallelujah. So all esteemed to Abba Yahuwah. Also in the first class as well, we went over the pronunciation of the name of our culture and the language. It is pronounced Abaryt. This word Abar is from Abraham's name. They gave us Abraham, but it's really Abraham. Now it is the Abaryt Aleph Bat. It has 23 letters, Barak Yahuwah. Now I'll show you, when we get through all the 22 letters, I'll show you what is the 23rd letter at the end, Barak Yahuwah. So stick around for that one, Rumamu Yahuwah. Moving on, it reads from right to left. Not from left to right like English, right to left. In English, or in the Western culture, we read from left to right. But in the Eastern culture, they read from right to left. So if you should ever see Hebrew, you're supposed to read Hebrew, whether it's the modern, the paleo, or the picture, you're supposed to read it from right to left. That's how they wrote it. And that's how you have to read it. If you read it from left to right, it's going to be very confusing because you're going to read the back of a word instead of the front of the word. So always remember this when reading or writing Hebrew. Hallelujah. It has no I-V-O-F-J-E-W in this alphabet or alphabet. Or as Aki Yeshaya loves to say, no IV of Jew, no intervention of Jew. Rumamu Yahuwah. Culture, as I said, it is the Eastern culture. Culture that we are today, that we're in today is Western. It's Westernized. Their thought process is concrete, using their 5 senses. So they would express, they would use ideas and opinions and express by using words that would relate to seeing, smelling, touching, tasting, or hearing. So if I want to say, if I want to express that I'm really tired, I would say, I would use words like, there's a whole lot of sweat running down on my face, and I'm almost out of breath. No, the words there, the concrete words that I used was sweat, face, and breath, because you can feel the sweat, you can feel breath as well. You can hear breath. You can taste sweat or touch sweat and all these things. So that's how they would express themselves when they were talking, and that's what Yahuwah did with them. So that's how they saw and interpreted Yahuwah's word or messages in the picture. Barak Yahuwah. Now, going on to the modern letter or the knockoff system, as I like to call it, not the Nakud, the knockoff system, as I like to call it. They say Nakud system, but I call it knockoff because that's exactly what it does. It's a knockoff version of the Abaryt, because modern Hebrew with the knockoff system, modern Hebrew is really Aramaic and Hebrew mixed together. If you read the first part of Jeff A's book, he break that down. So that's why I call it really knockoff system, because with the Nakud vowel points and dots, this is what happened. They will put a dot right here underneath this modern A or modern Aleph or Aleph, and then instead of this being an A, it becomes an E. So that's why persons in the walk today, that's why they use word like Elohim and those stuff, or they'll use words that has O in it, E in it, I in it, like the Hebrew word or the Abaryt word or the Abaryt name rather for Leviticus would be YAHUAH. But they would use terms like Vayikra or Wayikra and all those stuff, which are wrong because there's no W, there's no V in the Abaryt. It's the Nukud system, the knockout system, the vowel pointings that made these letters into something else. So it's like it transmogrifies the letters. It changes the letters. And if you change the letters, well, guess what? It's not going to have the same meaning again. It's not going to have the same sound, pronunciation. You're going to lose its power and its meaning. No, YAHUAH translate to mean, U by itself is translate to mean and. Yah, that's Yah's name, the short form of Yahuwah or Yahusha. Kara means called. So YAHUAH means, translate to mean, and Yah called. Now with this knockoff system and with the modern, you will not get that explanation or that breakdown because they give some simple terms. They give some basic meanings and thought process because they're thinking Westernly. But you got to go back to our ancestors to think Easternly to get the true proper breakdown. So the best letter or alphabet to lean onto is the picto. Why? Because the picto gives the original letters, sounding, name plus meanings. And that's another key part as well, the meanings for each letter. I saw someone made a comment and says the meanings are not important and all that foolishness. And that's just an agent of Hashatan. Anyone that comes up against the Hebrew or comes up against Yahuwah Yahusha is clearly an enemy of Yahuwah. Even if they try to make it seem as if they're standing for Yahuwah, there is always a twist plot with these persons. The same thing that Hashatan did with Yahusha. Came with the word, but there was a twist. Because he was wanting to get Yahusha to go against his own word, which makes no sense. So be careful of agents that are out there that are trying to come up against this because they don't want you to know. The more you know, the better it is for you. The more you learn, the more you grow. Because if you're using words that you think is giving esteem to Yahuwah, when it's actually not, guess what's going to happen? If it's the name of a pagan mighty one or idol, well, guess what? Demons are not going to be afraid of that word or whatever it is that you're using because you're doing things, even though you're sincere, as Yeshai would say, you can be sincere, but sincerely wrong at the same time. Two wrongs don't make it right. So you got to get it right. Get it right. Study, learn, study to show yourself approved. Don't be like those who say, oh, Abaryt Hebrew is not that important right now. I don't need to study. I don't need to know this. That's being that wicked and lazy servant and burying the talent that Yahuwah gave us. Don't be like that. So choice is yours. If you want to be lazy and ignorant, that's on you. You were warned. Barak Yahuwah. No, we left off at the A, the man with the arms raised, Barak Yahuwah. Hallelujah. And now we're going to move on to the next letter that comes after the A, which is the Wa, the 10-pick. Now, this is also another letter that they have changed with the Nukud system by putting the vowel pointings. I don't remember if it's at the left or at the right or top, wherever they put it. Wherever you see the dot, it changes this U to being a W. If they put the dot on the left, it could be a W or a V. Wherever they put it, it changes from being a U to a W or a V based on their foolishness, their intervention, their transmogrification of the letter. But it's properly a U. Now, because of the name and how it's pronounced, a lot of persons think it's a W because we say Wa. So you're like, oh, that should be a W. But it's really U. It makes an oo sound. This letter, it makes an oo, oo, oo sound. Sometimes kind of like a W sound as well. Mostly it's dependent on the dialect of the tongue. But here's where people go wrong. Because of the sound that it makes, people write what they hear. If I'm spelling a word, the first time I ever spelled physical, my teacher asked me to spell physical, everyone, based on what they taught me with English. First time I spelled physical, I spelled it with an F. And the teacher said that was wrong. It's a PH, and I was so confused. And it's like with a lot of words today. I mean, look at the word hour, O-U-R, hour. If you put an H before that, it's still pronounced hour. Hour would be, you know, us as an individual, and hour with the H would be the time. Now, if you should remove that H and put an S there, it gives you the sound or the word sour. So the pronunciation still remains, just the additional S, just like the H, it still remains sour, hour. And if you remove both letters, it still have hour. Now, if you put the letter T, this one letter changes the entire word and pronunciation. Now you've moved from being sour or hour to tour. How did that happen? This is why you should not lean on the English, because the English is nothing but a confusing language, because that's why Yahuwah gave us it in the first place, to confuse those who are rebellious. And that's why today the beast, he's trying to establish a one-world government, one-world currency, one-world religion, and also you're going to need a one-world language, and that's English, because English is a hybrid language, meaning English is mixed with multiple languages together. English is mix of multiple language coming together as one. It's being unified. So you cannot rely on what you see in the English, because it will lead you astray. If someone did not study the Hebrew, how would we know today that his name is not the Lord, or God, or Jesus, and all these other pagan mighty ones? So you see, it is important to study, it's important to know. Barak Yahuwah. So this is a wa, it is a u. If you don't make an u sound like an o sound, u, it is a u. You write the u, not a w, it's a u. This is how you write it in the ancient Abaryt, which is a picto. This is a 10-peg, even though it looks like a Y, it is a 10-peg. Now the name is Wa, the form is a 10-peg. This is what it looks like in the modern. It's a 10-peg or a nail. The sound that it makes a O kind of W sound. Now, interesting fact, how they came by the English letter W. This is how they came by it, everyone. No joke. What do you see on the screen? You see two W's, or you see double U's. You see two U's, or as they say, double U's. But instead of saying double U's, they say double U. So if I say double apple, what does that mean? It's more than one apple. There are two apples. If I say double banana, it's two bananas. Double cat, two cats. So double U, that's what you're saying. Two U's. But this is the trick behind it. So this is how they came by their common W, and how they came by the capital W is two V's together. I don't know if you see that, but that's how they did it. That's the evolution behind it. So that's how they came by this English letter today. And that's what you're saying. Each time you say this English letter, this is what you're saying. W, two U's. Interesting fact. Truth in plain sight, Barak Yahuwah. Now the meaning, or the meanings for this letter are add, ADD. When you put the U in the middle of a word, if it's not starting the word, if it's in the middle the second, third, fourth, whatever, or if it's at the end, it's adding. So like Yahu. Yahu means Yah adds. So Yasha, Yahu. Deliverance is added of Yah. Deliverance, Yah adds. Azari, Yahu. My help is added by Yah, or Yah adds my help. Just like Yahusha, Yah adds deliverance. That's the proper translation for Yahusha. Yah adds deliverance. Yahuwah means Yah adds breath. Ruma, mu Yahuwah. So when you put the wa in the middle, if it's not the first letter, then it's add, A-D-D. Also, another meaning for this is secure and hook. Now, the tent peg was used to secure the tent from being blown away by heavy wind. Now, if you are camping and you are in a place that has a lot of wind, strong winds, you would use a tent peg to wrap a cord or tie a cord around the tent peg, nail it to the ground, attach that cord to the tent, and it will keep the tent stable or secure from being blown away. So that's one of the meanings, secure. It is also a hook or nail. And another one that I've placed in there as well is A-N-D, and. And no, if the wa is the first letter, it starts a word or a name, it is saying and something. Like, for instance, when I said U-Ya Kara, U-Y-A-H, Kara, Q-A-R-A, U-Ya Kara. The U being the first, it means and Ya Ka. So when the U or the wa is the first letter, it means and. But if it's the second, third, it's adding or securing or hooking, attaching something to another, to that word that is in. Like Yahu, Yah adds, Yah adds, Yah secures, Yah attaches, Yah did this. So that's what this letter means, Barak Yahuwah. Moving on to the next letter, we have the letter Z. And this one is called the Zayn or the Zan. Some people say Zan, Z-A-N. Zan or Zayn. It is the form or picture of a mattock or a pickaxe. Now, over here in the modern, you can see that it looks like a pickaxe. You know, like a fireman's type, like axe. It kind of looks like an axe, but it is a pickaxe. So this is what it looks like in the picto, and this is what it looks like in the modern. It looks kind of like the number 7 in the modern. You can find ways how to remember what each letter looks like to help you. Now, for me, the picto looks similar to the letter Z. I don't know if you guys see that. To me, it looks very similar to the letter Z, Barak Yahuwah. So these are ways that I use to help remind me of which letter this should be. And then I'll know, well, this is the Zayin, and it's a form or picture of a mattock or ox. The sound that it makes is a za sound. The meaning are food, cut, nourish, and nourish. Now the mattock can be used as a weapon, or it can be used as a tool. It can be used as a weapon to cut, or it can be used as a tool to plant food, because you would use your pickaxe, the pickaxe to reap, to sow the ground so that you can sow seed, to plow the ground rather so you can sow seed. That's what you would use the pickaxe for, to plant stuff. And then when you use it again to reap back the fruit, the seed that you planted, guess what? You get food, and then the food will nourish your body. So do you see the meaning why Yahuwah chose this and all the meanings add up, all they all make sense. So that's how you got to look at each letter. What is Yahuwah trying to say to me with this matter? What is Yahuwah trying to say to me with the 10 pick? Try to use your common sense, your senses, and understand what do we use a pickaxe for? What do we use a 10 peg for? What do we use this for or that for? What about the ox? And then you start to understand the message that Yahuwah is trying to give or trying to get you to understand. So it's like the military. It's really fun to me. Well, not fun. Don't like using that word anymore. Fun, the etymology of fun or the meaning of fun, it really means to be a fool or to be a fool or to fool around. That's what the word fun means. To be a fool or to fool around. So I don't like using that anymore. But this really excites me and it really interests me. And, seeing how understanding the ancient Hebrew, the Hebrew letters, it's like a coded message. It's like the military, where only those in the army can understand what each coded word means. Like 10 mics. If a soldier say, Lima Bravo, we're 10 mics. We're 10 mics. 10 mics away from extract point. All right, we're 10 mics away from extra. They would be saying Lima Bravo would be the headquarters that is watching over them or Overwatch. And they're telling them that they're 10 minutes out, 10 mics, 10 minutes out. So that's how I see the Abaryt as well. It's like who is talking to us in a coded message with the Asian people. That only his people that are taught by him can truly understand. And those who are hungry and thirsty after righteousness' sake, he will give them the same understanding to interpret this tongue and language as well. But you got to have the heart. It's all about the heart. So that's how I see this, everyone. Barak Yahuwah. So that's the Zayn, the sound, Za, the meaning food, cut, nourish, Uma, Mu Yahuwah. Moving on to the next one, we have CH. Now this one is called the hot. This is what it looks like in the picto. It is a form of a tent wall or fence. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a form of a tent wall or fence. It's not a ladder laying on its side. It's a form of a tent wall or fence. In the modern, it looks similar to the hay, but as you can see, this part is touching the top. The hay is not touching right here. It's not touching the top. So that's how you tell the difference between the hay and the hot. Now, this one is where a lot of persons get the translation wrong, because this is what a lot of persons would pronounce it as. Instead of saying CH, I see some person saying K, and then you will get cat or chat or all those other letters. Now let's go into what the sound is. It's an H sound, so you focus on the H. So it's pronounced hot. But when you write it, you still have to write the CH. So when you transliterate this letter, you got to write in the CH. You cannot write H by itself or WH. This is just the sound to help you, the westernized mind reader, to understand what sound it makes. When you write it or transliterate this letter to English, you would write CH, but you pronounce the H because the C is a bit silent. C is silent. So it's hot. The meanings for this are outside, divide, and half, because that's what a tent wall would do. It would keep things on the outside of your house or your yard. It divides as well. It keeps things away from you. It divides you, or divides the land. You have some land and you want to share that land, like with what Abraham did with Lot. They would use tent walls to separate their lands, to show ownership where their property runs. And for us today, that's what we do. A lot of us, we run fences or walls to show where our property is. And the last one, it cuts it half. Half is the last one, half. Now, before I move on to the next letter, let me show you guys the proper pronunciation, because you might be wondering, then if it's hot and the C is silent, then how do we pronounce words like spirit or brother and all those other words? No, you can look this up on your own. The word for spirit, a lot of us know this, but do we have the proper pronunciation and spelling? Now, the word for spirit, even myself and Yeshai, when we first started using this word, this is how we spell it. Ruach, and we pronounce it that way, Ruach. But learning that the C is silent and it's not a K either, because I've seen some persons spell it like that. Ruach, or they spell it like this, Ruach. It is not a K, it is a C. So it's not Ruach, or it's not Ruach, or it's not that way, you see, with the ACH. In fact, there is no A in the word Ru. It is pronounced Ru. There is no A in the Abaryt word for spirit. It is the Rash, the head of a man, R. It is the Wa, and then you have the Ha. Only 3 letters are present for this Abaryt word. Now, with the Rash and the Wa, you would pronounce these 2 together. And then you got the hat by itself, so you pronounce it all in one. So it will give you Ru, Ru. It will give you this pronunciation. This is how you spell it, Ru, Ru. That's simple. So this is the word for spirit. Now the word for brother, we used to pronounce it as Aki, and it's spelled that way. But that's for brother, Ah. Some persons spell it like this, A-K-H, Ak. But it will not be Ak, it will be Ha. Sorry about that. It will be Ha. This is how you would pronounce it. Ha, Ha. It will not be Ak with K's. It will not be Ak. It will be Ah. Like if you should step on something very pointed or something burns you, you say, Ah. That's how you pronounce brother in Abaryt. Ah. Now, my brother, you will put the Y on it. And then we used to say Aki, Aki. But it's not Aki, it's Ahi, 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 Ahi. That's how you pronounce my brother. The same goes for sister. We used to say Akudi or Kote or whatever. Some persons pronounce it. Seen some saying it like this, H-O-H-C-H-O-T-I, Akote, Akuti, and all those stuff. That's not the true pronunciation. Akut, some with K's and all that stuff. Now, sister will be pronounced Ahut, Ahut, Ahut. My sister would be Ahut. Sorry about that. My sister would be Ahuti. Ahuti. Not Akote. Not Akode. Not Akuti. It'll be Ahut or Ahuti for my sister. Ahut for sister and Ahuti for my sister. When we get into words later on and we get through the letters, I'll explain to you how this becomes my sister and all the other words. So you can understand and you can explain this to others and show others as well. But I just wanted to show you guys these pronunciation. Other words like family. Many will say mashpaka with an K. It is not spelled with a K. It is spelled M-A-S-H-P-A-C-H-A-H. The A's are the sounded. They are imaginary. They are not present in the word for family. You only have the ma'in, the shin, the pe, the hat, the he. So you get ma, mash, ha, ha, mashpaha, mashpaha. That's how you pronounce the Abaryt word for family, mashpaha, not mashpaka or mishpaka. It's not mishpaka, mashpaka. It is mashpaha because there's no I, there's no K present in the Abaryt spelling. K is in Abaryt. But in this word, when you look up the Strongs, there's no K. The Kaph is not present there. You only have the M, the SH, the P, the CH, the H. So putting a K there, you're adding to the word. And that's not something that we should be doing. O is not in the Abaryt. I is not in Abaryt as well. Barak Yahuwah. So that's not the proper pronunciation. pronunciation. Any other word with CH, this is how you would pronounce it. Any other word that you may know of or think of, that's how you would pronounce that word. Barak Yahuwah. Moving on to the next one. Now we have the T, which is the tat. Tat. This is what it looks like in the Abaryt, the picto. This is what it looks like in the modern. It is a picture or form of a basket. It's a picture or form of a basket. Now the sound that this makes is a ta, 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 ta. So if you should see this with and B, it would be tab. If you see the Zayn with a B, it would be zab. You all understand? That's how you would try to pronounce the words. Pronounce the first letter. If it's 2 letters, then you pronounce it R in 1. If it's 3 letters without the wa, then you would pronounce it. If it has a wa there, let's say you have R-U-B or Rash Wa Bat or Bait. It will be pronounced rub or rub or rub. But if you have RB, then we'll pronounce rub. If you have RBH, then we'll pronounce rahba. So you pronounce the first letter by itself, then you pronounce the other 2 letters. So rabba. So the sound that this makes is sta. The meanings are surround, mud, and contain. No, you may be wondering surround. Well, that's kind of easy. The basket, it surrounds whatever is inside the basket. It surrounds it. It goes around. But I'm also going to show you another meaning for the word surround. Let's move on to the word contain. We'll do mud last. Now the word contain is easy as well. A basket contains whatever is inside. Whether you place food there or money there or whatever, it contains it and it surrounds it. Now mud, you may be wondering mud, but why mud? I don't get mud. I don't understand why mud. Now let me break this down to you guys. Barak Yahuwah. No, mud is from the earth, from dirt, right? That's where we get mud from. By using water with dirt, mixing it all together, you get mud. Mud is from the earth. Where is everything from that has been created, everyone? Think about it. Now, do you see why mud is the meaning? Man was made from mud. Trees came from the earth. Man came from the earth. That's why a lot of stuff that we have around us, when they start to get really old or rust, they get in the form of a dust, like particles, dust particles, dirt, because that's what they are. Your car that you drive is from dirt. Your computer, your laptop, your phone, all these things are from dirt that has been made, or most of them. So the basket was made from the earth, which comes from a tree. These baskets that our ancestors had in their times, they would make it from trees, and they would make mud basket, like from clay basket as well, and vases. So they're all from mud. And when you step in mud, guess what? It surrounds your feet. Interesting fact, Barak Yahuwah. So that's the reason why the meaning mud is there. Barak Yahuwah. Hallelujah. Right. We have one more after this one. Moving on to the Y. Now, this one is called the Yad or the Yud. Now, it is the form of an arm and hand. That's what it is in the picto. In the modern, it's like apostrophe or one of those things that we will use in English to say my brother's name. So that's what it looks like in the modern. But in the picto, it looks like an arm and hand. Barak Yahuwah. The name is Yad or Yud. Sound that it makes is a Yah sound. Sometimes it can be an I or E sound. Now, how do we get this I or E sound? If the Yad, the Y, is not the first letter, if it's the second, third, or last letter, it gives you that I or E sound. perfect example, when we said my sister, it would pronounce ahuti, ahuti with that I. And that's why a lot of persons are spelling ahuti with I at the end, T-I, because of the sound that the yod makes, the yod makes. Because it's like a vowel, it's a vowel as well. I've also heard there's no vowel in Abaryt. Well, that's because they don't want you to know. They don't want you to see the deception behind these I's and E's and O's. Because if they should tell you that there are vowels in Abaryt, then guess what? You would have seen and know that, wait, and this cannot be Odin. This cannot be I. This is just a sound. You would know that the I sound would be from the Y. The O sound would be from the U. It will lead you back to true. So that's why they told us there's no vowels in the Abaryt. So the Wa, the U is a vowel. The Yad, the Y is a vowel. I've heard some to say that the Hey is a vowel as well. It makes a kind of E sound. That's how we pronounce it, Hey. It gives it a kind of like E sound at times, but it's mostly an H. I also give you that Ha sound. I've never really seen it to give an E sound. So it's mostly a Ha sound. They also like to say that the Aleph, the first letter, the A, is a vowel as well, and it gives that E sound. So that's why when they put the dot, it turned from being A to an E. I've never seen the Aleph to be an E. It's always a A, always a sound. The two letters I've seen so far to give different sounding are the Wa and the Yod. So this is the sound that it makes. If it's the first letter, it gives a Ya sound, Ya. If it's the second, third, fourth, whatever letter after not being the first letter, if it's not the first letter, it gives an I / kind of E sounding. Now the meanings for this are work, throw, and worship. Now we use our hands to work, we use our hands to throw. You cannot throw with your feet, you kick with your feet. So if you're throwing a ball or a stick, you cannot throw a stick with your feet, you kick a stick with your feet, or you kick a stone or a ball with your feet. You work also with your hands as well, even though some persons don't really have hands, so they would use their feet to work. But you get what I'm trying to say. We worship with our hands when we raise our hands, shout to Yahuwah, just like the man with his arms raised. You get the concept, you get the idea. Barak Yahuwah Yahusha. So that's the name, Yad or Yud. This is a picture of an arm and hand. This is what it looks like in the modern. It is the English letter Y. Sound that makes a Yah sound if it's the first letter. It's not the first letter, then it gives you an I kind of E sound. Meanings are work, throw, and worship. Barak Yahuwah. Now moving on to the final one. No. This is when we get to the K. Mark this letter. Look back at the hat. Remember the hat looks like the A in the modern. Mark these two letters and mark the hat. And when you get back to words like Aki, as you would say it, Akuti, Mashpaka, and all these other words that you would use with K, go to the Strongs. If you see these two letters there, any of these two letters there, then it is a K. If you don't see any of these two letters there that are highlighted in yellow, then it's not a K. If you see the Hey, then it's a CH, and it gives you an H sound, not a K sound. That's how I know. I'm going to show you in the Strongs. Now, this one is called a Kaph. It is a picture of an open palm. If you put your palm, your two hands together with your palms turned up, facing upwards, then you will see the picture. In the modern, they have two versions of it. This one that looks like a 7, but it's longer. It goes down. The others are more shorter. This one is the long form of the 7. This one kind of looks like a backward C to me. So if you see any of these two letters in the modern, it should be a K. It is a Kaph, the open palm. Sound that it makes is a Ka sound. The meanings: bend, open, tame, allow. No, you bend your your palms, or you bend your hand to get the open palm. The palm, open palm. That's why the words bend and open are there. That those are easy. Allow, if someone wants to give you a gift and you stretch your palms open like that, you're allowing them to place the gift in your hand. So you're allowing them to give you a gift or to give you something. If someone needs something from you and you stretch your hands, but your hands is closed, let's say they want the key to the house or the key to the car, and the key is in the middle of your palm, and your palm is closed, are you allowing them to take that key? No, you're not. But if you open your palm, then you allow them to take the key from your hand, or a sweetie, or money, whatever the case may be. So that's why allow is there, bend is there, open is there, because you bend your fingers as well to close the palm. Now, tame. When you have a pet, a dog or a cat or any other pet that you have, what do you use to pet your pet? And by petting your pet, guess what you're doing? You would use your palms, right, to pet your dog or your cat, stroke your dog down, or rub your dog down or your cat down, or whatever animal that it is that you have as a pet. And by doing that, you're taming the animal. If it's also a wild animal, he's not used to you, and you use your palm to rub him down, to caress the animal, you're taming that animal. And by taming that animal, now he starts to trust you. He will not see you as an enemy, because now he's tamed by you. So that's why the word tame is there. So do you all see Yahuwah gave these pictures, these images, because it means something to us. It's easy for us to understand if we expand our mind, if we use our five senses. That's why Yahusha, he spoke in parables. They shall be like wheat and tares, or they shall be like the 10 virgins, or they shall be like this or that. That's why Yahusha spoke in parables, using things around them to explain the heavenly things and to get them to understand. But only the righteous could understand these parables, and not all. Because if you notice, the disciples had to come back to Yahuwah and ask Yahusha to explain it to them what this parable means, and he did. So it's not for everyone. So only those who are righteous, only those who hunger and thirst after righteousness will see this or get this understanding. Barak Yahuwah, Ruma, Mu Yahuwah. So this is what we have so far for today, Barak Yahuwah. These are letters. You can go over this, replay it, watch it again, study it, and practice until it becomes perfect. Barak Yahuwah. Before we close out, I want to show you guys the Strongs that I use. I love the Strongs, Barak Yahuwah. Now, on the screen, I'm using an Android emulator on my computer, Barak Yahuwah. Now, right here in the middle, you can see it is the SKJV. You can download this on the App Store or the Google Play Store. And this is what it looks like. So this version of the Strong is the best one that I've seen so far. It's a lot better than what comes with your regular KJV Bible, or if you should go on the internet and look for Strongs. This one is the best one so far that I've seen. Barak Yahuwah. Now, the reason for that, let's go into the Strongs right here, and let's go back into, all right, it's taking a while to load. Hold on. Barak Yahuwah. And I'm going to show you how we come by these words and their proper pronunciation, their proper spelling, and all that stuff, because you got to use the Strong. You got to go back to the origin. And they don't hide this stuff from us. But the thing is, they don't teach us it. They don't get us to focus on it. So we don't know its importance. The app is acting up right now a bit. Barak Yahuwah. All right, let's use a word right here that we can find. No, this will not work. Sorry about that. Let me try to go back into the Abaryt Rishon, because the Abaryt Hadashah, the renewed covenant, or as they call it, the New Testament, it has nothing but Greek so far. So yeah, all those Strongs, the G and all that, those are Greek words. So let's go back to the Abaryt Rishon, which is the first covenant, or as they erroneously call it, the Old Testament. And let's go into some Hebrew words. Sorry about that. I don't know why it's messing up right now. I acted out. Barak Yahuwah. Well, here we are. We got it on the screen. Ashatan won't stop this. Uma Mu Yahuwah. No. Let's say we're reading Genesis 1, verse 1 and 2, and we want to understand what this verse is saying right here and what each word means. Now, as you can see, the words that they would have, they would highlight it, and then when you click on it, it will lead you back to the Abaryt word and the origin. Now, let's look at the word darkness, and there's a specific reason why I went back to this chapter. No, darkness, in Genesis 1 verse 2, I've heard a doctrine to say that this right here, when it says, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, I've heard persons to say that this darkness is talking about evil. No, that's Hashatan. No, that doesn't make any sense. Because right here, this is day one, right? Where Yahuwah is making the earth and the heaven, and he's creating everything, the forming the earth, the light, and all these things. And look, it says, and Yahuwah saw the light, that it was okay, it was well-pleasing to it. So why would Yahuwah see the darkness as okay, as pleasing unto it? Why would he see evil as being okay, as pleasing? If there was evil, then he would have gotten rid of that evil. So that doesn't make no sense. Now let's go to the Strong's. Let me show you also another reason why they think it's evil, but it's not. Now when you click on the word darkness, it will bring up the Strong's word for it, and it will give you the meanings for this word. No, on the screen we got the modern Hebrew. This is why I'm sharing the modern as well, because when you go to the Strong's Concordance, you will not see the pictograph, you will not see the paleo, you will only see the modern. But I have to teach the picto because the picto gives their true, deeper meanings and origin. It's the original. Now we got on the screen a word here. In the modern, we got the hot, which is the 10th wall, the CH. We got the shin, which is two front teeth, which is SH. And we got the Kaph, which is the K, the long 7 that I told you about. Here it is, the Kaph. So we got hot, shin, Kaph. So it'd be CH, SH, K. Now they give us this word, Chushak, or Hushak, Hushek. We have on the screen Chushek, CHOSHEK. This will not be correct because we know there's no O or E in the Abaryt. It says it's from 2821. Now, if you click on this, it will take you back to the origin of it, which I'll get to in a minute. But let's look at this first. Now, the meaning for this, they say it means the dark, hence literally darkness, figuratively misery, destruction, death, ignorance, sorrow, wickedness, night, obscurity. So this is another reason why they think it's evil, because of these words. Even though you see it says literally darkness, the dark. Now let's click on 2821. And as you can see, there's no vowel pointings. There's no knockout system. There's no dots. Now when you click on 2821, it takes you back to the origin. And now you get the A, and now you get the true pronunciation of this word, which is Hashak. The Abaryt word here is Hashak, which means to be dark, as withholding light, transitively to darken, be black, be make dark, darken, cause darkness, be dim, hide. So as you can clearly see from the two, it is not a word that means evil. Does not mean evil. Now the word for evil, one of the words for evil is Ra, R-A, the Rash and the Ayin, R-A, Ra. That's the word that you would get for evil. And there's another word for evil. I don't remember it right now. You would have to look that up in your own time and you will see. So this word right here, darkness, literally means without light. That's why Yahuwah says, let there be light. Not for him to see, but for us to see. Because if I've also heard another stupid doctrine to say the reason why Yahuwah created light was because he could not see in the dark. Now, if you should go to Ecclesiasticus or Ecclesiastes, I don't remember the chapter, but you can look this up. It says that Yahuwah's eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Yahuwah says no secret thing is hidden from him. Even what is done in the dark, he sees. No, why would Yahuwah need light if he can see what is being done in the dark? If it was too dark for him to see, then how would Yahuwah knew that the earth was without form if he could not see in the dark? And it was void, it was empty. If he could not see, according to those who believe this. Do you see? It's not adding up. It does not make sense. He made light for us to see, not for himself. So this darkness was right here, literally pitch black. Just like when you would make a house. When you make that house, do you make it in light or do you make it in darkness? You make it in darkness. When you complete the house is in darkness. And that's when you would hook up your electricity or the current to the house to get light. It's the same thing with creation. Look at the child being born. Is that child born in light or in darkness? When that child is in his mother's womb without form, he is in darkness. He starts to form and then he comes into light and he starts to grow into a man. Do you see? That's how creation is. That's how Yahuwah is. That's how everything else is. That's why the day starts at evening. And if you continue to read, go down, it says it. And the evening and the Bakar, the daylight, were the first Yom day. So this is how you would use the strong, and you would go back to words. This right here, you got the Aleph, you got the Lamad, you got the Hey, you got the Yud or the Yad, and you got the M. So it's Allahim, Allahim. It's not E. You go back to this, it's Alua, Alua. So right here, this is the Wa, the U. So this is how you know what letters should be there and what letters are not. This is how we know what these words are because we study to show ourselves approved unto Yah. But those who are teaching you these nonsense that, oh no, it's an E, it's an O, it's an I, they do not properly study. Even if they do study, they study the modern Hebrew. They study what the Ashkenazi Jews are teaching, the Jewish people are teaching. They study what the Roman Catholic is teaching. So they are teaching you the Catholic misconception or deception of Hebrew. The modern Hebrew with that vowel point in that Nakud system, that knockout system, is a deception of the Hebrew. So if you continue to follow that weird version, you are deceiving your own self, and you will not understand the words, you will not know their true meanings, and you will not understand or have access to the full power of word or full understanding of Yahuwah. But that choice is yours. I'm not here to force anything down anyone's throat. Everyone has been given the freedom of choice, the ability to choose. So that choice is yours. Barak Yahuwah, Yahusha. I'm thus Yah's mouthpiece, sharing his message, proclaiming his message. Hallelujah. Join us next class for the other letters, Barak Yahuwah. Sorry this took so long, Barak Yahuwah, but have to give this understanding so that everyone can understand. This is very, sensitive. It takes time, Barak Yahuwah. Hallelujah. So next class, we'll get into the other letters and we'll go through it a lot quicker, Barak Yahuwah. And then when we get done with the letters, then we can go into words. Like the words like Ahi and Ahuti. How does the Y makes it my sister, my brother? Abba, father. Abi, my father. How do we get these words? How does this become that word? How do we break it down? All those understanding we'll learn after learning the letters first. Barak Yahuwah, Yahusha, Ruma, Mu Yahuwah. So if you have not watched part 1, please watch part 1 and part 2 so you can understand all that I'm saying. If you don't watch part 1 and part 2, you won't understand Barak Yahuwah. Again, I would like to share and express, if you disagree, if you have any questions, you can leave your comments in the questions in the comment sections, or you can send us an email. The email link will be in the description. But if you disagree and you want to come with debate or arguments, that will not be tolerated on this channel. Our servant of Yahuwah should not be one that's quarrelsome or one that loves to debate. Those who are of the devil love to debate and love to push a point without proof. So if you are going to come to argue or debate on this channel, you will be blocked. Your comments will be removed. It will not be tolerated. Barak Yahuwah. If you have questions, fine, no problem. Debates, pushing your own agenda, opinion, agents of Washington, you are not welcome. You will be blocked. So try again. This is Watchman Azariah, who signing out on behalf of Yahuwah's chosen people, Assembly, Barak Yahuwah, Yahusha. We have Yahuwah's Pasah coming up right around the corner. Boo, Yahuwah, man. All esteem, I can't wait. Thank you, Yahuwah. We got the first feast coming up, so make sure everyone's houses is in order, that you remove all the leaven from your house. And I'm not just talking the physical leaven, I'm talking about the spiritual leaven in your heart and all that stuff, so you can be fully cleansed on that feast day and give it your all. Barak Yahuwah. Much love to you guys for the support, for the prayers, for the words of encouragement. We appreciate all the likes, the shares, the subscriptions, man. This is what is helping others to see these true words of Yahuwah. By liking, sharing, and subscribing, it helps to bring more eyes to the videos, even though YouTube is fighting against it with their algorithm and all that stuff, shadow banning and all that. That's why a lot of channels that have truth, a lot of truth, are hard to find on YouTube because they get fight a lot. YouTube don't really no longer ban channel, but they shadow ban. They make it hard for you to find. So when you type in Yahuwah's name or Yahusha's name, channels like ours will be all the way at the bottom. So you got to spend time to scroll through videos, channels, and all that stuff before you can find channels like ours. So by finding a channel that stands for truth like we do, trust me, they would appreciate it if we all like, share, and subscribe. Help, so we can bring it, so we can fight against the government, fight against YouTube and all this shadow banning, fight against this censorship. Hallelujah. So I'm not saying this to be liked. I'm not saying this to be paid by YouTube and all that nonsense foolishness. We're doing this because of truth, because of the censorship. Hallelujah. So again, we are truly appreciated. Much ahab unto you. Any questions, anything you would like to share or ask, if you don't feel comfortable saying so on the comments, you can email us directly and we'll get back to you. Barak Yahuwah. Hallelujah. Much love. Shalom, shalom. All esteemed to Yahuwah. Barak Yahuwah. Yahusha. Hallelujah.